the GoDaddy post-match breakdown.
Nobody saw it coming. The Ninjas in pajamas fly out of the gate after a very early deficit. It looked like it was going to be a quick one. SK just starting and doing what they do best on overpass, and then the Ninjas, the Swedes, deliver here in the Oracle Arena. What a way to start us off. Even that pistol round, Yenko, and of course Chad joining us.
Yeah, the way the pistol round started, we all knew we were in for a great game, but it didn't look great for NiP early on. We were talking about Fur and his aggression, and despite him dying in the first two gun rounds, NiP gets the opening kill, and they still can't close out the 5v4. That's where you're thinking, okay, 5-0 down now, 6-0. This is where the game is maybe slipping away from them, because you're only going to get that chance of a 5v4 against SK a couple of times. You really need to capitalize on it and take full advantage of it.
I mean, Chad, the fact that they go 1-7 down and then NiP find themselves closing that whole game out, with a very vigilant CT side especially, that was something you were concerned about, right?
That whole, the battle of the first half, it was like a chessboard. If you had the mini-map up, you could basically look at how everything panned out. You could see, okay, they go for aggression, even though they go down, the SK guys know how to react. You see Taco pushing B, he's getting information, and they're playing as a unit. But what happened was, as soon as it was neutralized, as soon as NiP had gone, hey, this isn't happening anymore, we're going to make that opening kill and we're going to wait for you. If you want to take more information as a squad, we're going to punish you. And from there, we're able to, get on top of the economy and steamroll.
And this is what I want to kind of explore, because we did focus, we said, for aggression. We talked about no one gets away with it like he does. And we watched the first 8 rounds of play, and we're sitting there going, this is insane.
There's 5 times, Alex, he forced his team to defend on the CT side of overpass, which is an easy 4v5. 5 times. So half the times it worked, half the times it didn't. I know that's 5. I know we're talking the number of 5. It's not easy to get half, but I think it's 3-2 is the way it panned out. The 2 rounds where he went down and the team played with good information, and they actually played as a unit, pushed up, and it made some openings from that information that Phil was able to give was positive. But once NiP, they just stop, they stand still, and they hit their shots. They were outskilling this SK team.
This is just great play from him. He gets so much information. Even in the first round we saw where he died to Forest, just as the time passes and he doesn't have any contact on mid, he has a good idea after hearing the pop flash towards long. Okay, they're probably trying to sneak towards long, and he should have gotten that kill on Forest, then it would have been even better. Second time around, again, he gets so much information for his team, so even when he dies, it just allows... oh, that's a bit of a speech. Just when he dies, it gives so much information to his team that it's not the end of the world, right? Yeah. It allows them to make the extra rotate, and they're still in a good position to defend.
So help me understand this, because, we saw what Fur was doing, and we saw a fantastic start from SK. It looked fantastic. And then something clicked for NiP, and they won 8 rounds in a row, Chad. So what was that click?
They get on top of the economy. That's one of the parts of this. But when that aggression is coming in time and time again, and you're neutralizing it, and you're having the 4v5 advantage, the decision coming out from the SK squad is we have to play for more information, right? They never once just sat back and tried to hold the sites and retake, which is something which they tend to do quite well. But when you're in a number disadvantage, the economy's not in your favor, you don't have the utility, you feel like you need to go for plays. And when you go for plays, it's risky. It's not going to pan out, right? And there was time and time again where either the guys from NiP, they made a quick decision, they went to a bomb site and they were able to get these SK players who were in limbo. Or there was the one round which stands out to me is where Taco pushed and he should have contained. He should have just got to T-spawn area and he should have just chilled there and controlled the rotation. Instead, he kept pushing. He got caught by Forrest, who was watching backs, and from there, now you have a 3-on-5, right? Now you just go as a unit and you collapse onto a bomb site.
And Taco had a very poor game, and we tend to say that for him stats don't really matter. When you look at his game, he's always going to have poor stats. But here, a couple of the decisions, the one Chad pointed out, he also had a very weak hold on B when it was a 3v3 situation. It was a swing round, a recent round, so to speak. So if he could have had a bit more impact in some of those crucial moments, could have gone a long way for SK.
While we're on the topic of stats, it would be foolish not to mention Exist. Not only that absurd 1v2, come on, that was, the whole crowd erupted. It was insane. No one saw it coming, and it really kind of set the tone for the entirety of the map. But he's top of the scoreboard, 23 frags. We've literally gone through, we've talked about Get Right Forest, we've talked about Resendrak, and looks like Exist doesn't want to be left out of that party, Chad. He played well.
Yeah, he was having a good time on that second half as well. And I think, the way that they were approaching as a team, when we got over to the CT side, was very aggressive, right? Yeah. They just wanted to take those duels, they wanted to take those fights and be in their face, because the way that SK, they don't really seem to have a huge amount of structure. They rely on their theory and their chemistry and all the, the homework they've done. This is how we're going to react in this scenario. But when the CTs are just pushing at you from all different angles, they're not playing normal CS, right? They're not letting you play within your comfort zone, within the normal theory and Exist. He thrived in that environment.
Yeah, someone that thrives in their environment is Stunner. We're going to go ahead and check in with him. He's thriving with the crowd. Let's check in with him before we continue to break things down.
Thank you, Mr. Machine and the boys at the Xfinity Analyst Desk. Well, that's right. We're down here on the floor of IEM Oakland 2017, and I'm with my friend Vincent here. Now, Vincent, talk to me a little bit about coming to visit us today.
You know, all these events are always super exciting. I've been coming here since like IEM 2015. The atmosphere is just always great. You know, people shouting, people supporting NA teams, NiP, like all throughout every single event. It's really good.
They have a lot to prove, right? I mean, they're trying to grab this trophy again, and obviously you're here to support the champion. How do you feel about them going to cash?
I feel like we're on a roll right now. We just shut down Fur on overpass. We're on a roll right now. We're gonna destroy him on cash, easy.
Destroy him on cash. Well, that might be the case, but they need to shut it out here, or we're gonna be going to a third map after that. Either way, you know what, Vincent? Are you having a good time here at IEM Oakland?
Of course, you know, every IEM is amazing.
Hey, you heard it right there from Vincent's mouth himself. Either way, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the polls that I have asked you to participate in earlier this morning when I found myself here at IEM Oakland, of course. Either way, you can see how they're breaking down. But to break down this next map, we're going to be going back to the Xfinity Analyst Desk.
Almost a dead heat on those polls, 53 then, just an edge towards SK. And before we do start talking about cash, because there is a lot to be said, let's kind of round out and let's get a full close on that first map overpass, a surprise win.
For me, something that was very important in that second half were two storylines. One is SK, their major weakness is their anti-eco rounds when they're on the T side. They just spread around the map so much to get information, but then they are vulnerable for like individual plays, like we saw the great shot from Get Right, the Deagles from Forest, right, and they lose that round. That really spirals out of control from then the second half. And for NiP, one of their flaws was lack of city-sided aggression. I was really worried to an extent after they lost Pistol, will they still be courageous enough to go for it? Luckily, they won the force buy. But then in the first gun round, straight off the gates, city-side aggression. That's where I knew, okay, this is a different NiP. They actually realized what their weaknesses are, and they are actively trying to work on them. And that's when I knew we were going to have a game on our hands.
It does help, though, that you can just I want to hear your perspective and take on this before we move to cash, Chad. The NiP individuals were playing at a level we haven't seen from them in a great deal of time. I mean, look at that Deagle round from Forest. There was examples of that all across the board.
It's the same level throughout the whole tournament. I think that's the exciting thing. It's actually carried through from the group stage. That's always a worry. And I did touch on, the potential nerves for Rez and Drake, and it is a stage. They're not used to this kind of environment. And they played decent enough, right? But there was still a couple of interesting decisions. Sure, they won. They played fantastic. They were stuck to the game plan. Everyone did their job, but there's still interesting decisions being made by these guys. We saw that one run with Drake at long going for 2 AWP kills. He made them. They were great shots. But he should have hightailed it out of there straight away. He stayed in limbo. He got caught out. They still won the round. It's just a poor decision. These are the things, hopefully, that I guess the adrenaline can push them through this next match.
And it was the core, the veterans of NiP who did carry the team to victory on first map. But on the second one, similar to Overpass, Cash is where a guy like Drake can have impact, being aggressive towards Squeaky, towards A main early on, and also can have a lot of action coming his way towards that A bomb side. But this is where, after seeing how NiP approached the game and, the aggression on the CT side, but also the composure, the determination on that T side after being down early to keep doing more or less the same things, just with little tweaks, that gives you a lot of confidence moving forward, because for them, it's easy to start doubting themselves after some bad results online, mostly not being able to get to the minor and so forth. Now they're probably feeling super confident.
And Chad, nice and quick, talk us through Cache, what your expectations are. Do we get a third?
Going into this one, the difference is NiP can't really counter-strat or have a game plan to exploit SK's weaknesses, because SK hardly ever play this map, right? There's going to be that unknown factor there. Whereas SK can just come out swinging. They can basically throw whatever they want at these guys. I think looking at this matchup right now, we just need to see the SK guys try and be a little bit more, I want to say individual, but just there doesn't seem to be, they're not fragging at the highest level that we know SK can. They weren't hitting the shots. You expect Fallen to get that 2K. He only grabs 1. You expect Cold Zero to make that spam down when Squeaky opened it on overpass. They weren't able to get that.
Yeah, and we're going to have to find out if they can get to a third. Gentlemen, I wish we could talk about this for forever, but I'm not complaining because we get to sit in the Oracle Arena and watch it. So let's go ahead, let's stop talking and let's get fragging. It's time to start your second map of your first semi-final here at IEM Oakland 2017.
And a second map that is NiP's choice. They're in the hot seat, 1-up.
Oh, yes.
On SK after winning an overpass.
I said the fact that Cash is in the map pool right now meant there's a chance of the third map. We could have a 2-0 here for the defending champions, NiP. I actually favor them here. This is actually quite interesting to see how this one will pan out. It's going to be NiP starting on the T side. 4 sets of armor, 1 smoke, 1 Molotov, and they're heading towards A. This could be a very fast approach. Nothing towards middle or B. Indeed, it will be Fur and Bolts. Not at a retake setup. They've got Fur towards the quad and Bolts looking towards A main.
Draken and Exist to enter the site direct. Rez towards Squeaky Door. Bit of a trip over each other's. They got off on each other's heads, but Exist finds the opening pick. Forrest down. Bolt has an angle. Finds one and falls off. A second as well. He's looking extremely sharp on the USP. And as he finds to find Forrest, he will eventually go down. That allows the bomb plant for Get Right. And on the retake, it's Fallen that has the kit again. In-game leader typically carries it. coldzera, good shot to Get Right. Finds the head as he jumps on the E-box, and he's got great movement because he's already up on top of the catwalk. In fact, doubly our SK in the position, which is uncommon, unorthodox not to see so many players there. It means they're trying to trade off of each other as Fallen jumps back down. They want to isolate Forrest. And a good find. It's on to Draken. Talker's tagged, but over the top, nothing they can do. Good retake from SK.
Yeah, nice to note the movement there of coldzera. That was just beautiful to watch. The fact he's getting up towards that heaven position, gets the bird eye view of the bomb site. It was a nice start from NiP. They got the opening frag. Bolts, though, he was key in that situation. He bought so much time. He only brings it to the 3-on-3 short, 2 frags, but there was about 15 seconds there where the bomb didn't go down. His teammates to rotate through and have a viable chance of retaking the bomb site here. So you can see this first shot comes through. Lovely stuff. Falls back, nails the second. Can't do the third, but his job was done at that point, and it will be SK Gaming with the much-needed pistol around there. And they'll be 1-0 up, of course. The bomb plant is a very similar situation we had to on Overpass. The bomb goes down the pistol, and you lose the round. You bring out the AKs in the third. So this round is a chance to see what you can do with the Desert Eagles, P250s. Nothing else really purchased here. Objective to get the bomb down. That'll be the first task, but that's going to be very difficult without the utility here.
Forrest with the deagle in hand, can't find much. There's no one to spawn inside of middle. Again, though, as you talked about, they go for more rifles this time, but they elect to keep the MP9s up, so obviously they're faithful. SK toward them. As Forrest clears off the cubby way underneath the drop, he'll hold with the deagle. His bomb is still well out towards Squeaky. In fact, with the push through and the rotation down highway, the site's actually available and open for a plant. As Bolts finds Forrest, that will at least cause a pincher position. This is entirely working. They've got one player with bomb, Draken, who's now inside of the site. No one at A at all. He's going to get a bomb plant down, which will inject another $800 on top of the $1,900 they will get for this round into the wallets of NiP, and they've realized it late. They pushed so far forward, but didn't consider Squeaky.
Draken definitely will win this round, but his job is done. That's amazing. They've got 2 bomb plants in a row. If he gets 1 kill, that will help, unlikely, as Fur takes him down. So sure, SK win the round. Luckily with 5 players alive, if that bomb goes down, it means even the AWP's a possibility now for NiP if they wish. I don't think they will. I think it'll be the 5 AK-47s with the full utility here. We'll see which way they're inclined as we get into round number 3. NiP's chances just got boosted tremendously. As SK bring out the AWP themselves, will be Fallen, obviously holding that weapon. Couple of lesser weapon sets to use. Was that you, Matt?
I don't know what that was. I thought it was you.
An MP9 and a FAMAS as we get into round number 3. It's always going to be a difficult round to hold off the full buy, but we'll see whether NiP will bring anything interesting. As of course, aggressive straight away with the MP9. Opens things up, pushing through the smoke. Down to 20 HP, but he gets away with it.
I suppose if you're going to have the only SMG in the round and Fallen's going to invest into an AWP, you might as well throw a Hail Mary with it. It certainly works. 19 HP, and Fur gets away with the advantage.
Yeah, that's a really nice play from Fur. He got shut down towards the late stage of the first half and overpass, but with the MP9 pushing the smoke, it's the unexpected play. We'll have a look at Fallen, who's in the Squeaky Door for now, but it doesn't look like NiP will end up there just yet. They are flirting with the idea of going towards the B-bomb site. Get Right makes their way towards Checkers, but there is a slight caveat to that. coldzera waiting behind the boxes, and Get Right hasn't checked it just yet. If they go for the boost here, this could all fall apart. coldzera biding his time, hasn't shown anything just yet.
And Get Right is so deep in the site. Gold is going to have to be a hero because, unfortunately, inside of the site directly, Taco's got problems. I take it back. He actually compensates, finds an angle and backpedals to let Get Right walk in. We've got a similar start to Overpass, and that SK win the early buy and now have a 3-0 lead with NiP back to pistols.
The patience there from coldzera was just unbelievable. Why they didn't check that position, I have no idea. He swings out, finds 3 in a row. He waits for so long. They fully committed towards B. They come through. The communication just not there in time. They don't know where that's come from. And he starts shutting them down one by one. Even gets the 3rd frag to finish it all off. Lovely stuff there from coldzera. And indeed, SK Gaming do fend off NiP with their force buy in the 3rd. It's round number 4. Money should be in quite the tight position. Yes, about $2,500 per player here. As we'll take a pause once again. It's almost identical to what we saw on Overpass. The 3-0 coming in, then the pause. The Eagles will come out once again. Remember, 7-1 down on Overpass, and NiP came back and won. This is now their map pick.
And just to continue that storyline and go back to Overpass, like we just said, it was the same thing. Early buy, and they were reset. It was the same timeout called by Exist. This time Force typed it in, but I'm sure Exist made the executive decision to sit and talk about the economy because they had to get back into the game early. The 7-1 last time, so that's not exactly early, I suppose. This again. Draken tries to get some luck on his side and fire through the smoke at B. Slightly better vision, will push Fur back to the site. That's when Rez wants to catch him. So by design, he opens the door and Fur has to converge and cross at least one of the 2 angles. Good shot from Rez, and he's inside of the site.
He's found 2 kills on that Desert Eagle. These have proven to be very strong for the Ninjas. Get Right gets the 3rd, and this could be the entrance we were looking for. It's 3-0 right now, but this looks like an NiP round all day long.
And they've got B site now because Rez being in A, an additional kill on Get Right, they're panicking. They're going to rotate back because they're expecting the bomb to greet Rez in the open site, make that call, and even if Taco finds that kill, it doesn't really much matter because bomb is going down on the B site as we speak. I see that, however, Get Right was found by Cold. It's going to make things interesting as he sits from heaven, but he's got to fall back. He can't quite get a position, not from heaven. He's just below, walking in from the main entrance. But he has to be patient to allow Taco to get closer and closer. And Forrest's timing, Taco was turned. Easy shots, but pulls off with the deagle. Staying alive is enough because it's Taco that's going to be bothered by him being behind him and not know where to look. Instead, he has to get aggressive. He knows the Forrest is probably rotating around, so he'll wait behind the box instead. But time becomes a factor. coldzera's left with just 14 HP. He may have a kit, but there's no way they win this round. NiP's going to pull it back.
They absolutely are. It's Rez to open things up. What a beautiful round that was. After losing the force buy, it's the Deagles, no armor, that yields success here for NiP. Rez, the young gun, managing to open up 2 kills at that A side. We will save an AWP as coldzera gets it blown into his face there with the bomb defuse, the bomb explosion.
He was waiting for it. He knew it was in the mid connector.
It's 3-1 and NiP steal one away. Here's the replay of Rez. And it's tremendous work. He got the call from Forrest that the A push had come through to expect him falling back and nails that shot. Ferg gets completely taken down. And the AWP comes out for Draken. Money's starting to look good for NiP, but we've gone to the double AWP set up for SK at this point. Obviously it will be Fallen and coldzera. We've talked about it all tournament long. And Cold heads towards B. Fallen looking to get aggro here in the A main position, but he'll fall back after deploying the incendiary.
Double push, and it's Fallen on the AWP, surprisingly, that hits it, but they don't account for Fallen, or excuse me, for Forrest. In the corner, not common. That's a setup to counter the push through, because normally you have one at the door, one facing behind the box. And a good play at that, but the problem is they've lost more than 2, which is all they've pulled back in an early situation of a 3 versus 2. Lots of time to open up the map for NiP. And SK is going to spread to a 1-1-1 defense, essentially, one in mid for the fast rotation and information, and one on either bomb site. Forrest needs to be so careful. His back turns. Taco's close, sees the shoulder just as he looks away. Forrest tries to pre-fire in, and with him going down, Get Right has his work cut out for him. Thankfully, it is isolated down to just one in the site directly. He's going to have to act quick. Good pre-fire. Bomb plant immediate as well. He knows that there was the next closest, at least, was middle. As Taco waits at the truck, Cold will try and get an angle on the secondary AWP. Get Right doesn't need to face either, but you know Get Right. He's planted it for main, but if he can find a way to be somewhat clever, he will, and this is his play at it. If anyone goes to check A main, he's got the angle for it.
Yeah, exactly.
As soon as they walk in by the forklift to even consider peeking that direction, he's got the headshot lineup. He's also got a chance to peek out when they get on top of the ball. They do have a chance to defuse it in behind, though, and I don't know that Get Right realizes it. He's got the first kill. Kit's on it, and unfortunately not. It was just barely too tight inside, and coldzera pulls off a defuse.
He plants on the very edge of the bomb site there. As soon as the CT deployed the smoke, it's going to make things very problematic. Good effort by Get Right at the 3-on-1 situation, down to the 1v1, spraying through the smoke, but couldn't get it done.
And NiP's going to call another timeout because they have a decision to make. This is a reset, but they won a force buy previously, which built up the economy to a point where they could consider forcing around the weapon that Get Right carried over.
Well, that should
I suspect that's the call. There's an op on the ground, so that's going to be it.
Here we go then. SK Gaming with a firm lead, 4-1. But very similar scenes to what happened on Overpass. Almost identical in terms of the scoreline and the resets coming through. It was NiP at this point, though. Let a few rounds go on Overpass. Went to 7-1. Can they find anything here in round number 6? As they bring out 3 AK-47s. Rez and Draken will have an AWP on the ground. Presumably Draken picks that up. As the unpause is called. We'll have smokes, flashbangs, and molotovs to 3 of the players. Rez brings out the Galil. Double AWP setup. Do SK continue their aggression? It's been a talking point of this series so far. Pushing A main in the previous round. They might have to push towards B this time. That looks like a full-on rush from NiP. All 5 players towards this side of the map, looking for the opening picks. Draken to try and set them up. No presence from the CTs to begin with, but the boost comes through. Spots one, can't hit the shot though. Draken will give the call to push into the bomb site and isolate the players in the back.
Good shot from Cole to make up for it, but you're right. It's exactly what NiP want to do. They want to get aggressive, get in their face, and catch them in transition. It works out. They've lost a lot of HP, and they'll lose Forest as well. Good shot from Fallen. Just before the smoke did bloom toward Heaven, so HP firmly in the favor of SK, but Bomb going down. Rez does it with 5 HP. That's why it's desperate, because that nade any sooner denies the plant. Thankfully it's down, and they have an AK in Draken's hands, and Get Right's fallen back as well to watch the reverse side of the vents. Good shoulder peek from Fur. Has all the information they now know. Get Right's busy. They'll start to encroach on the other side of the site from Tree. As Draken's forced off it as well with a Molotov, they're going to be near the platform before any in which kills or any information further is gained by NiP, and they know now Get Right has to be in the corner. Fur walks directly in as soon as that was covered off by bolts. Smoked off, Molotov as well, even though it's 10 seconds. There's
I don't think he has a chance.
No chance Draken gets back. Oh, you're right, he has to get off it. That's going to be extremely close.
It's
They
done.
made a mistake. That's a huge error. They miscalculated that. They didn't have to be anywhere near inside of the tunnels. They could have got on that much sooner.
Yeah, miscommunication there, the defuse kit. The player with the kit could have got there before. It looked like Draken had conceded. The smoke's down, the incendiaries as well. There was no chance. It was over. They just defused the bomb. It was done. And NiP probably can't believe it.
No, I didn't even consider. I thought they were on it. That's such an unexpected error. And from SK as well. Normally so disciplined. That's huge. Even Draken was falling back.
Yeah, he thought he was over. Like, well, I can't win this. It's just 3 players to find, a smoke down, incendiary on all the choke points. I'm out. But it will be a round in favor of NiP. As we get in towards the B bomb site again. This time, Cold Zero, that secondary orb coming to life. He finds the first shot, takes down one of the key players of the NiP offense. That's Forest in full back, safely towards the B side. But Draken's not done just yet. Another smoke will come through. They'll maintain the man advantage for now.
And that would have been an economic reset for NiP. That's a huge, huge mistake. They can still force in, and they still find the advantage early. Fallen, looking somewhat invigorated by the mistakes, wants to make up for it. Probably frustrated, naturally being the captain of such a team. Good 2 kills before he does fall. Exist getting the refrag. Opens up some space to get toward Highway, but there's never a certainty without a smoke down at Z connector how far you can really go before someone will take back that position, and Bolts wants to do exactly that. Exist, he better have his timing perfect. Unfortunately not.
Yeah, the pre-aim there of Bolts is absolutely spectacular. The boost works out as well. This is going to be an SK round for sure. Rez left in the 4 versus 1. He'll get that first frag, but the bomb not on his back just yet. He's got a lot of work to do here. Cold Zero takes him down. The player that kicked it all off will finish things off there with the AWP. I've been waiting for this to come to life and show us what it can really do. This is SK up against it now. 5-2. They should be up on an eco now, NiP. A couple of resets coming in. Some very tight rounds indeed. There's about $1,900 per player. Looks like they'll just force buy into this one. They'll probably be double eco regardless. So CZs, Deagles, the armor's out. Flashbangs and smokes. We are rushing B once again, slowing things down right at the precipice. And we'll see whether they can bait out the shot and maybe snowball into the B bomb site.
Good start from the pistol of Rez to at least get a trade back immediately. Get Right has the up. Rez, he's stepping up in spades.
Here he comes.
Pushes through with the CZ, gets an angle, but Fallen's ready for it. Bomb goes down as a result. They'll have to commit another body to the depths of the site to try and get the plant. Which not only makes them vulnerable on cross, thankfully a smoke's still down, but it occupies a body, and they haven't answered Fallen. Finally the refrag, but again losing Exist. Now Get Right has to be the one to plant. He's also the one with the AWP. That takes him temporarily out of service. As they can push around to find. What a shot, Draken. And Bolts read it, knew the angle, pre-fires Get Right on an AWP. Not something you see commonly. And he's got a second kill around, he goes for more. But Bolts has the line. And it's 5-2 for SK, excuse me, 6-2.
Wow, Gero with the AWP, that would have been a way to close the round out, but it will be going in favor of SK. It's the force buy with the pistols, a contact play towards B. They get the trade, they get the bomb down, but Fallen just finds 2 frags, buys so much time for them, and the Bolts retake there from the vent. Just the pre-aim seems absolutely perfect. We saw in the previous round as well, in the connector, he completely shut down Exist. Coming through the vent there, finds Draken, just got that crosshair placement down to a T. As we get into round number 9, it should be the full eco now for NiP. Not looking too promising here, 6-2 down. Deagles will be out once again, no body armor, no nades. They'll be focusing quite heavily towards that B site. But for now, it looks like a very standard round. One towards middle, holding B storage, and we've got Draken trying to find an opening towards A. This time Fur won't be pushing the smoke by the looks of things, but watching for any players boosting up.
Fur swinging. Rez gets underneath, drop at least. For rather, Rez behind, Rez goes down. In fact, Gold gets the shot immediately, so good start again for SK. Pistols, pretty straightforward. They'll build up their bank, which becomes a problem for NiP moving forward. NiP stole away SK's map, and SK looking to try and do the same against NiP on Cash. They've now got a 7th round as Draken. They just wait, unfortunately. Will go down, and Bolts will find him immediately. No kills at all for the NiP side.
Very similar start here. 7-2 is the scoreline this time. It was 7-1 on overpass. Money starting to stabilize once again for the Ninjas. They'll have the AK-47, but don't really have quite enough for the AWP from what I can see. It's going to be Exist to call another tactical pause here. The in-game leader trying to work out what's the approach. We haven't seen, again, many tactical plays here from NiP. We haven't seen the detailed set pieces come through towards that A bomb site. Haven't really seen any of that or fast play towards middle. It's been quite slow and focusing towards B. A couple of good fakes coming in at times to time with the pistols, but so far it's looked quite quiet for them. So they'll have a chance here to work out what's the play. Do they maybe get a UMP instead to have more utility?
SK!
There's a fan.
Let's go! Go SK!
Couple of Brazilians, as you would say, Hank.
I would say that.
Not quite with as much elegance, but you would say it.
The buy will come through. Exist will bring out the final AK-47, as you can see. They have got the smokes to work with and a few Molotovs. I'd like to see some sort of set piece come through. It seems like the Orbs starting to ravish them at this point, but round number 10, and we'll flash towards B. It's Taco to maybe boost up in the vents here, as he'll get Molotov out of position. I'll have to fall back and get right, trying to shut down everything he can here.
Right, tries to find one through the smoke, won't do it. He's normally known to play inside of the B position.
Now, Cash is one of the most aggressive maps we have, and for CT side especially. We saw what Fur was capable of on overpass. He did get shut down towards the end of the half, though, so it looks like NiP have got a very similar approach here. Wait for the aggression to come in, then try and dissect the map with some basic control. A boost up here, they'll be flashed through, presumably. They won't just go up dry, and it's up to Fur and Cold Zero from the vent to try and shut them down here. There's the flash. Can the CTs find anything here from the vents? Can't hit the first shot, trying to take the aggro away for Fur.
Decent shot back, though, as Draken gets the shot immediately. Fallen. Getting very aggressive on the AWP. This time not towards Squeaky, which you oftentimes will see the solo op trying to tame. He's got the position door. They have no idea. Get right down. Incendiary to hold them off as well. They've got to make a decision. Go or not. Fallen finds 2 on an op inside of A main. That's pretty damn good. It still leaves them 3 aside, though, as they eventually do get the trade. And Exist reads that truck is open, but Rez has to enter on his own. Exist will cover back for a trade in his position. And what a shot from Rez to get Bolts eventually. That now allows Draken to get much closer toward rotation position at truck specifically, but Taco could slip up behind the smoke. Contact by Draken to hold off one, but Taco knows he's going to be running back, tries to catch him with timing. Doesn't want to commit. He might have been better off served to just go and get the kill because he goes down for free.
Yeah, spraying with the M4A4 through smokes. Going to show traces. Exist capitalizes at that point. But what a great shot from Rez towards CT Spawn to open up that A-bomb site. He seems like his fragging potential in terms of entries is off the scales at points. Very, very strong aim with the AK-47. And it will be a 3-on-1 with Cold Zero trying to hold onto his M4 here. Not going to have the secondary orb this time as he holds towards the vents. And they will be at least flirting with the idea of trying to take him down here. The problem is the money's not exactly astronomical for the NiP side, so they don't want to fully commit to this one. Cold Zero sits to the bench. You can wallbang him, but that's very unlikely. It will be the 3rd round there for NiP. They keep 3 players alive. And SK Gaming, in terms of their cash, they're looking fine. It's not amazing, but they'll get a full buy here. There'll be a couple of compromises. I can't see there's no AWP into this round. That will be down to the Famous and Fallen with the opening pick. So you think that's their round all day long with those sort of plays, but managing to get the trade and Reds to open up the A bomb site, it all fell apart very quickly. NiP start the campaign on cash as we go fast towards middle.
Wow, very fast. Forrest, not even for the crisscross smokes, just one to cover off Z, close and a flash into it. Gets him in behind the hut. He's able to watch anyone underneath the drop. That's clear to the very least. Hasn't elected to go to the vents yet, and he doesn't have any support system over toward B if he did. He's got the angle to control highway. And I think just wait at this point to see what else they can find. Again, though, SK's gotten aggressive inside of A main, and they're going to go for a boost this time. So Fallen without the AWP, not able to find footing, but now they've got a chance. Fallen goes down, Draken with the kill. Now, do they read that he didn't peek A main? Do they read there's still a boost potential in play?
Still plenty of time here. 1 minute on the clock. We've got Forrest deep behind enemy lines as he makes it towards highway. Fur has not spotted it. He'll be aware it's a possibility. Might have to check, but it might not even matter. Bolts takes him down from the boost position, but Rez with the refrag. It's at the Fur and coldzera now on the retake as they come from CD Spawn and highway.
And immediately, coldzera knew exactly with bolts going down, so too did Fur, that they had to rotate in as fast as possible. Cold gets there, gets the kill, and backs out. Fur doesn't want to do the same. There's no flames at his feet, but there is bullets in his face as he tries to walk by, and Rez has the line held through the smoke, even if it bloomed or not. Speaking of lines, 2 against the wall. Rez only manages 1. It's Cold on 55. No nades to work with. Does have a kit, but against 2. Exist and Get Right, both very experienced players. It's going to be unlikely he's able to isolate this as he wants to, and I think he knows the situation. He's already backing off. This will be NiP picking up a 7-4 scoreline, their 4th round, and their 2nd in a row. And it is Rez who's stepping up now. 3 kills in this round for him.
Yeah, he's looking much better. Top of the scoreboard, 11 kills, 10 deaths. It's Draken's got a little bit quiet only with 2, but he found an opening into this round, so that's absolutely fine. And it will be 2 in a row for NiP. 2 players surviving. coldzera stays alive once again, but I think we have a full eco now. A chance to breathe for the Ninjas, but coldzera, arguably the world's best player in CSGO right now. He does save the M4A4. He's got the defuse kit, the smoke to work with as well. His teammates certainly capable of the Desert Eagles. This round will still be tough. NiP praised for how good they are in the anti-eco situations, how methodical they are, and how they have so much trade potential at all times. And he made sure to get the opening pick first and see what is possible after that. Lovely work from Draken. Shoots after the smoke blooms, and they take down coldzera and that aforementioned M4.
Yeah, so forget that theory of trying to get aggressive on Cold's hands. Drop the bomb back down so Rez doesn't get caught. And the bomb in a position where they'd have to commit quite a few bodies, 2 bodies further. Go back and get it as Taco waits inside of the checker room. It's Bolts as well with his P250. Cover off Z. His teammates, as you can see, down in front of him, which does mean there is an M4 in that position. He's probably thinking about getting, but good read from Rez. Flashes behind. I would say he's arrived in this series.
Absolutely. He's looking confident now. Shaking off the nerves, got that first map victory, and he's going to find maybe another frag there. He gets it done. That's his 3rd of the round, up to Taco now. 4 versus 1, no armor. Got that deagle towards the B bomb site. And look how disciplined NiP is still being, man. It's so rare to see this. Even when you've got a 4 versus 1, you know, he's just got a pistol. You're not rushing. You're making sure everyone stays alive here. Every single possible outcome is checked. And as you get right now, with the final coming in towards the site, we'll have an open area to get that bomb down and guarantee the victory.
So plant this time very wide from Get Right. We saw last time when he planted slightly tighter toward the middle objects. I'm not exactly sure what we call those.
The middle objects.
The metal objects.
Oh, the metal objects, okay.
Stacks.
Yeah.
They were able to fuse behind it in the smoke, but Rez able to take down Taco. Oh, default, typically when you're playing.
Taco not looking too infused right now as we head into round number 13. 7-5. We've got a tactical pause for SK Gaming at this stage. There's the shot from Draken through the smoke. If you do get a strong spawn, you can occasionally get there before the smoke goes down and get the opening pick, but Draken, he didn't even need that. He managed to actually take it down and open things up, and then his teammates with the boost managed to find coldzera very quickly, so that fear factor of having the M4 towards middle was quickly taken down. 7-5, NiP once again still had the possibility to win the half. Very similar scenes to the first map, as we do have a full buy here for SK Gaming. Fallen with the AWP once again, but there are a few problems here. The UMP for Taco once again, we're limited on utility. Fallen with none. There's one single defuse kit as we enter The last few rounds now of the first half of Cash. Gerrard's feeling brave again.
Very brave. Same play that Forrest had. Quick smoke, fast flash. It was he who has the spawn who takes it. But it's Fallen and Cold to take the kills back. And in fact now, quite convincingly, they find themselves in a 4 versus 2 and Get Right being one of the players to go down. So they don't even have the mid control that they wanted. And Fallen is getting very aggressive.
4 on 2. Complete change of pace there for NiP after the tactical timeout comes through. NiP for a spanner in the works there. Fast towards middle, and it looks like it's going to be completely wrecked as 4 on 1 now. Exist gets dropped by Fallen, and it's just down to Forrest now. Trying to cause some damage. Very unlikely he can win the round, but if he finds Fallen, oh, he's actually snuck behind him here. This could be interesting. If he gets this kill, we've got a round on our hands here. Forrest will go down to 29. Just wants to find kills here. That's the main objective.
Exactly. Find kills, limit the money because they have to buy again into round 14, but the bomb down makes things most interesting. That makes things most interesting as well. And blinds himself partially. Not graceful. Didn't get any further money down. Cold gets the round. That was expected in the end that they would win. SK 8-5. We hit round 14, and again, though, reinvestment is the key.
Absolutely is. All comes out for Draken once again, but here's the opening picks from Fallen. A very quick round there. It was Get Right pushing his way out towards middle. Like I said, the tactical timeout, when you know a team call one of those, they're going to be adjusting something, maybe trying a different idea. They rush towards middle, hoping it's the open, but Get Right gets the opening pick, but Goldsera to take him down from the white box. Means it was quite the simple round after that point, when then being followed towards Fallen and his AWP. Number 14 now, Draken will be dropped off the boost position. Goes for a little wall bang there. It's ambitious, but I like it. Trying to find anything as the first kill comes in. Once again, Matt, it's Rez. How good has this guy been on Cash so far? This squeaky door is his. And he gets another headshot. It's bolts to go down. And now they wait for the reaction to come from the CT side. It's a very reactive map in that sense. As soon as you lose a pick, you have to fight back. And that's what the CTs are trying to do now towards Rez. But he gets him through the door. Of course he does.
Even with being spotted, the nade out, and not being prepared for position, he finds the spray down. Lurpus, I think you have your answer. As it's Taco and Fallen left to compensate. In behind Forklift, good position to be in. That'll take the bomb from Exist. And the Molotov didn't quite land. Put in the corner, there's nowhere to hide away from it. So Rez has an easy angle and an easy predictive shot. It's Fallen with the AWP against 3. And again, money a massive factor. 6 rounds easily achieved for NiP at this point. Fallen does at least get Forrest. Don't rule him out. It is Fallen, but doesn't have a kit. That certainly hurts.
Yeah, he might want to consider saving the AWP into the next round. No money at all for the Brazilian side. He's going for it. He's got the AK-47 in hand right now, but with no kit, you're absolutely right. It's interesting he's even considering it. I'll encroach towards the A bomb side now. One player low HP. I don't see him getting anything done here. I don't think he has even enough time to defuse now.
No, he doesn't. Absolutely not. Not even sure what the plan of going in is. Get Right just easily has him with the op.
He had to save that AWP, in my opinion. The only chance they had to win this round coming up. Looking very likely to be an 8-7 half as NiP get back into the game. Fast boost towards middle. It's Forrest to open things up. And Rez, they're so good for that door. That was such a great round from him. Final buy comes through. SK with 3 CZs, a Desert Eagle, and Goldsera just on a measly UNP here up against a 4 buy of the NiP side. Looking for that 7th round, but all it takes is 1 kill with the CZ. It's a snowball weapon. You upgrade to an AK, and the SK player is certainly capable of doing something a little bit crazy.
So Forrest this time, going up to clear mid, looks behind bags. That's the exact wrong time to do so because he gets peeked by Fallen, which I thought was being covered off. So surprisingly, no response from the second player who was top drop. I think it was, yeah, it still is Draken. They'll go back to mid once more though. This time they want vents. They'll get right underneath of them. Back all the way in. Rez starts off, trades back. It's Bolts again that keeps the lead in the favor of SK. This picks up bomb and heads back. It's Draken at least to find Bolts. That's A site covered off, but watch Fur. Hasn't done it at all in this game, but he is good at getting behind. We talked about it on Overpass. He's done it once more. CZ75 only to work with, but timing everything. Element of surprise certainly strengthens the weapon. He's not sure which way to go. In fact, he may have gone the wrong way because 2 players already inside of B. If he goes back toward mid, they're already looking for it, and A's wide open. He realizes it, and he's got to run, so won't work out in Fur's favor. No chance to catch one.
Oh, but Goldsera certainly has. It's Get Right caught out of position. There's no trade potential there. This kill decides the round. Exist gets it. Still within a shout, though. It's a 2 versus 2. Exist or Molotov towards heaven. 20 seconds remaining. Does Taco push with the smoke? It looks like the answer's going to be no. He'll wait for his teammate. That's the correct decision. They've got 1 flashbang a decoy, no kip, and no rifle.
Just go back to B after seeing Fur try and rotate away. Exist. Sight covered off. Finds one immediately. Draken has to play this perfectly. Fur still has the CZ. And he get the trade. Baits out the first shot. Crosses over and he's got an AK as well. He's got head armor to work with. If Draken doesn't get the lineup, if he doesn't read this, it's going to be a problem. Fur realizes he's changed his angle, but Draken just has to keep him off the defuse. Or better still, take him down. And that's exactly how it works.
Bit of panic coming in there from Draken. It was quite a tense round. Comes down to the 1 versus 1 foe of the AK-47. He knew he had potential to win it, but it wasn't meant to be. Very similar scenes to Overpass here. A huge lead by SK Gaming and his NiP to catch him right at the very end there. It will be 8-7 to finish the half. We'll find out how this one concludes after the break.
Another close contested half, another 8-7 scoreline. SK, a slight advantage this time, having the 1 round to their name and their credit. They have to win another pistol, T-side start. And NiP have pressure applied as well in the fact that it's not easily a foregone conclusion. Rez is back.
Yeah, he's going toe-to-toe with the very best in the world right now. Cold, Zera, and Rez, both on 19 kills apiece. Nothing really separating these two teams. The pistol will be very indicative as to where this half is going. NiP, 4 sets of armor. Let's get rid of the smoke and defuse kit once again. And we've got 2 smokes for the SK side. It looks like a basic approach from them. Smoking towards highway, flashing through. They have got the Molotov for quad if they decide to use it then, or maybe they save it for the post-plant situation. Exists in Draken. They won't be playing retake either. They're looking to fight from the MBK position. That's going to be Draken.
Up the fence, Exist already forced off slightly at Fork. He's tagged down, Draken's waiting for flashes. Keeps looking into the wall, they haven't arrived. In fact, he's not going to get any. He gets vision, that gives him 1 kill. Get Right found the other on to Fur. He eventually does get smoked off on the highway gap. Fallen swings in to get a great shot onto him. Down a man already, make that 2. As Bolts gets Forest, it's on to Rez. Blood's been hot, but a tough proposition in front of him to go 1 versus 3. Smokes covering the inside of the site, give him a chance he can fade inside. He can still isolate this down if he's fast enough to find Taco. Because Bolts is still working in from Truck. That smoke has favored him massively. He thinks he's gotten away with it. He thinks he's clever. He is indeed. Bolts is nowhere near. Bolts doesn't read it. And NiP get it. Rez barely wins the round.
What amazing play. He's having the map of his career so far. On the big stage, we question if he can perform, and he just wins out of 3 versus 1 against the world's best. Bolts had no idea the full defuse would be coming in. It's such an intelligent play. Look at this, that first shot towards the forklift, then completely wrecks the player at quad. Full defuse comes in, and Bolts panics. He can't find the shot, the full defuse. The last few seconds go in favor of NiP, and what a way to kick things off. And it might not be stopping just yet. The force spike comes in from SK Gaming in the second round here. AKs are out, along with the Deagles. They're fully committed. They've given that up now as they go for the full boost in middle. Bomb down. A chance to catch our breath. And we won't be going for any rushes here. Middle is completely open. CTs with 2 rifles, 3 SMGs win this. And they could be looking at the 2-0. This is looking great for NiP. What a round from Rez that was.
Incredible, incredible. As soon as that smoke went down, he hits the first shot that cleanly. They couldn't even get a formation to go for the trades. Hits one, fades through, Bolts is isolated away from the battle. Man, oh man, what a way to win back a pistol. I thought this was going to be SK stretching out the lead. Fallen certainly doesn't think that it's done just because they've lost the pistol. Look at Get Right, Cold Zero with the AK buy. Bomb down, they try and catch off NiP. It's worked so far, but Draken's position has worked as well. P9's got a back off bomb there. He wants to hold, and somehow, great peek and hit Fallen from range. Fair enough. The bomb on the deck a little bit longer. They won't be able to hold that position where it is. Unfortunately, it's too far beyond the enemy lines. Draken does have to be careful because, unfortunately, yeah, he's done for as Cold walks in behind Fur-Found Forests. It's Rez again that has to clutch. 2
versus 1 this time. Fur and Cold Zera to defend. The bomb actually in T-spawn, so Rez has got a good chance here. Objective, of course, get it to the 1v1 to start with. Cold Zera has to watch every single angle. In 15 seconds, I don't think they can even plan that. Even if they get the bomb here, it will be a chance. He could have run away. I think he had it. They didn't have even a shout of planting the bomb there. He just ran off.
I think you're absolutely right.
10 seconds when he died.
When he died, and they still had about 3 seconds to get to the bomb. There's no way they got to his site. Surprise. And there you go. Even our little in-game timer tells us.
Yeah, definitely wouldn't have made it.
11 seconds, and they didn't even have it yet. So that's, yeah, unfortunate. Could have easily been NiP holding on. Now SK, despite losing the pistol, they make up for it. And they only lost the pistol due to some rather incredible play from Rez and a bit of an unfortunate one from Bolts. So far, SK has definitely shown that they are ready to play on the T side of this half. This game, I should say. We're already inside of middle, completely vacant. Aside from just Get Right. Let's choose to peek out before Fur is able to get in behind the hut.
Remember, NiP have looked disgusting with the Desert Eagles so far. Even without armor, they've been nailing the headshots, Forest especially. SK is certainly aware of that proposition, so they'll take things very slowly here. Check every angle and Bolt to the first kill. That's nice. It's one of the key players of NiP going down first. That's Forest. Right, low HP at the same time. This should be quite the easy round now. Unless Rez has anything to say about it. He's coming in with his Deagle. First shot is nailed. Looking for the second, can't connect. Refrag comes through, and that should be the round at this point. Exists has a chance, but can't get anything together, and there it is, the 4-on-1. Draken can't do anything about this.
Can't at all. Low HP, you'd expect that one of those shots from the Deagle at Heaven would have hit, but Fallen will plant the bomb. Draken will sit with the Deagle in armor and allow the time to tick away. I say that, he'll get a little bit closer and try and take some guns down, maybe even find an AK-47 for himself. With Fur rotating back around, if he was careless, he could actually walk toward Draken in a fashion that would catch him off, but I imagine him holding station is probably the more ideal situation. In fact, that's quite clever. Knowing that Draken's likely looking for exits, the one way they're going to go, the only place they don't have information where Fur can't see, they just smoke it off.
Yeah, good stuff. And they've managed to negate the Deagles of the NiP side, which can be a little bit tricky. You can see 3 players very low, so they took some damage there, but 4 players surviving. Good stuff from SK. They lost the pistol, won the second round forced by. It was Bolt that got bested by Rez in the 1v1 in the pistol. And here he is, getting the job done. In the B-bomb site against the pistols here, no problem at all. Good shots to that Khalil. Assuming we'll have an NiP eco once again. Yeah, pistols are out. USP for 3 players. Rez of the P2000 and Draken with body armor and a deal. Considering he's the AWP, that's an interesting approach. And it's Rez to go down first. This should be quite the clean sweep for the SK side.
Trying a multiple peek to take down 1 or 2, but unfortunately they're getting the same treatment in return with guns. Good shot for Draken at least, but unfortunately Taco's already behind him. 11 rounds now for SK. Man, imagine Rez just ran away. It'd be a much different storyline currently. So SK trying to steal back a map. Remember, they lost their own map choice to NiP Overpass. the score seemingly looked closer. It was actually a blowout when you consider that it was 7-1 for SK and NiP basically reverse swept it. Early flames atop the drop to make sure no one can get up, cover the position.
Just to note, it's Rez on the secondary orb right now, not Forest, so we'll see whether he can arrive. He's got 23 kills, 16 deaths. The next closest to him is Draken on 9. That's kind of insane.
Yeah, that's a one-man army. That's ridiculous. If anyone else wants to start playing on an NiP, that would be appreciated by Rez, I'm sure. Because it might give them enough to push over the edge on SK. Round is important. Rez as well. Secondary up tagged and naded. Bolts read it.
Yeah, he could have fallen back, but decided to just get one more smoke down before making his way back towards the checkers, and he'll get naded. There's the leg shot that opened things up, and it's a 5-on-4 as SK Gaming look towards middle. This is for lining up the smoke towards connector. That will go through successfully. There's no mid presence at all from NiP. Draken still on the orb, and we'll send 2 players towards middle for the T side. Potential B split here with 1 player in Sunroom.
Good bounce.
Yeah.
Damn, that was very smart. Catches out Bolts entirely. Certainly suggests he knows that he's there, but Forrest is still waiting behind the box. Tries to go for the early peek, can't do it. Doesn't like to try and roll through because it's not that applicable, but Get Right certainly steps up! Get Right steps up! Oh god, Get Right, get all 4! Fallen finds the response and puts him on the floor, but it's still not done because the bomb not planted. Fallen, he'll go for the open side plant to play with the AWP, but they've already taken position back through the vent. What an incredible individual heroic moment for Get Right, as it looked like they'd lost all hope at the B site. And Fallen manages at least to burrow back and hold the op on an angle that isolates Exist first. As soon as he peeks, Fallen should be ready. They'll tap the bomb. That forces Fallen back in, but a smoke off. He can't push through. They can try to hold the defuse. If Exist can play the inside angle, that's exactly what he's going to do. Now he's got coverage for his teammate, but it's 10 seconds, and Fallen, edge of the smoke, somehow hits it. Draken responds, but there's no time.
So smart from Fallen there. Gives himself an open plan. He's in a difficult situation. 2 versus 1. Drops the Molotov towards heaven. The smoke is already down at CT spawn. As soon as he gets in that position at the main entrance, you think he's got a serious chance here. The CT start panicking. The smoke deployed. They can't decide if they're going for a full defuse or not. Didn't seem like they had confidence in each other to actually find the frag. That defuse had to happen a lot sooner. Apply the pressure to Fallen, but they were just being overwhelmed by the in-game leader and legend that is Fallen. And that will be quite a harsh round for NiP in terms of the financial situation. Get Right as well, Matt. After finding that sort of play, to be denied the round victory has got to be gutting for him.
Absolutely gutting, but
Are we buying this round?
I was going to say, this is...
I know, so Draken saved the orb from the previous, so his teammates will just work out what the players around that.
The timeout call suggested that they might have gone for a little bit more aggressive stance, but they'll sit back and wait. Concede the fact that they don't have much to work with and allow Draken to try and get early picks. We just finished saying if someone else would like to start playing Get Right, man, oh man, that was... I didn't even think they had a footing in the round after losing Forrest, especially behind the box.
Well, here we go. Round number 21. It's just down to the orb of Draken to try and make something happen here. And good night, Get Right! And it will be fair to blow his head off with a single bullet of his AK-47, and he'll push all the way towards CT spawn. The orb of Draken won't be able to do much here as he holds all the way towards the B bomb site. He'll get one as first, going very aggressive, of course, but that's a good call. Nice fast play towards the A bomb site. Nice shot as well from third. There's 1 bullet, and Bolt's still hunting for players here. Let's try and hold on to the orb now for the NiP side, see if that's a possibility. Draken still in the open, looking for anyone pushing forward.
Cold Zero pushed all the way up. On map control gained. The hold. Taco, meanwhile, behind enemy lines, gets caught out. Bomb, though, continues to tick. Thankfully, no kits because they've left it rather open. Left the site rather early, but there's no chance NiP will be able to do anything with it. Keep that AWP alive. More importantly, Rez now picks up an AK as Exist goes down. That's fine. They'll carry both of those over. That strengthens NiP's economy, but they need to start rolling on this second half now.
Yeah, absolutely do. They've only got 1 round so far, which is the pistol. They're 5-1 down, 13-8 overall.
Which is a pistol. I'm going to say they should not have won.
Absolutely.
In all fairness.
Yeah,
I mean,
3-on-1.
they pulled that off, but that shouldn't have happened.
Well, SK Gaming don't play cash that often, especially with this new lineup. Let's see whether they can finish this one off. Good shot from Fallen. It's Draken trying to get aggressive at the very start. They'll be punished for that, but the boost comes through. We have got Rez at the very top. He'll actually make that work as well. That's quite rare to see a kill come from that boost in the back of B, so still
Rare,
a 4 on
especially
4.
when it's already been an exchange, a
Yeah.
trade, to have 3 players in the site to do it, and importantly, they had the smoke down, so they couldn't actually, as we saw last half, capitalize by rushing in and catching them out. Taco does still find Forrest, however. So not out of the woods with Forrest going down, as Rez will hold off toward checkers. Cold's inside of the vents. Rez has to be very careful, doesn't even consider it. And that might be enough to take the round away. If NiP concede the bomb fast enough, they may have to consider saving. Trying to exist to get further alert, but Cold getting get right, and I imagine that's all she wrote.
I think you might be absolutely right. Exist very far removed from the situation. It'll be all the way towards A. It's the opening pick from Fallen. The boost from NiP looks successful, but obviously gives away their position. They've completely capitalized towards that B bomb site. Coldzera finding 2 frags, and the money just swelling out of control at this point. Kraken still with $8,000. They're not out of this just yet, but it's looking likely we'll be heading towards Inferno, which always is a great place to finish off these sort of best of 3s. It's a very equal playing ground. Everyone plays it, and both teams very well versed on that map as well. So that should be fantastic if we get there. NiP with a full buy here, not too bad. The Orb's out, 4 and 4s as well. Still have a chance to pull this one back.
Up out for Fallen again to see if anyone will push through toward A main. No one electing to go beyond the smoke, but they are inside of the garage door. Fallen makes sure he finds not only that player, but also Rez, who pushes in. Forrest will sit back. Oh, Bango finds Taco, at least something to work with. Cold will immediately find him in response. I was going to say, and they don't have the bomb in any position toward the A site, but that's now open, and even though they want to head toward B with Bolts and Cold pushing through, Draken really doesn't have anywhere to hide. This will be gunned down. This will be map point, so SK are going to do exactly what NiP did to them. In fact, sweeping out a second half and taking potentially their wrap away convincingly as well. 15-8, 1 round to go.
15-8 indeed. The money very poor for NiP at that point. Fallen doing what he does best with the AWP, and it seems like the CTs have experimented with aggression here, but every single time it's SK that are coming on top in terms of the 1v1 duels. That was the storyline for NiP in the first map there. Individual prowess was just off the scale. The skill level was really there. But only one player really has turned up in this second map, and that's Rez. 24 kills. Exist and Forrest. Forrest especially, 7 kills, 22 deaths for him. That's just not a performance that's going to yield a successful map here, because he was lights out in the first one, and he's completely dropped off on cash here. 15-8 and a mixture of weaponry. 2 UMPs and a FAMAS for Exist. They've got the kits, but almost nothing in terms of the smoke grenades now.
Slower pace. Assistant Rez pushed up, but not going much beyond. They won't get any further information. They're just going to wait for it to walk into their position. We're already being somewhat curious as to what's going on behind the forklift as Taco waits at the door as well. So if Fur can funnel Draken back, Taco will be able to open. Only a 1-2 punch toward the A site. Taco's even already spraying through to catch the angle, but holding the wall. Draken's gotten one. He knows the door was going to open. Tries to spray transfer over, at least self-preservation, if you will, as he sprays and ducks behind the forklift, and he gets away, or does he? No, he does not. Taco, great shot after throwing the nade. That'll allow them to walk into the site. Get right showing his hand a little bit early, but the flash out wants to capitalize. Finds one, but Taco actually burns Fallen, so it wasn't even Get Right's kill, but it'll count. As they find themselves in a 2 versus 3, Get Right gone down early. It means Cold was able to hold the wall, and therefore they close it out 16-9. Not even that, 16-8. As SK dominate map 2.
Yeah, it's NiP that couldn't get going there at all in the second half. Only the pistol was picked up for them, and apart from that, it was a very passive game. Seemed to have lost their mojo, and only Rez was performing that. What a performance it was, sure, but his teammates didn't join him. Forrest 7 for 23. That's just not going to be good enough here, if they want to make sure they take this series from SK.
And they'll need to on Inferno map 3. We will take another quick break, join him at the desk, and see if this series has more to offer. It's been great so far. We'll see you in a minute.